I don't know how you found us, but I'm glad you did. It's the If It's Sports Podcast, episode 23. All right, this is Josh. I got my main man, Trav. We're back here after a wonderful Super Bowl. We've got a lot to talk about on the Super Bowl. A lot of other sports action going on there. Trav, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Sorry we missed everybody last week, but just needed some time off to get rejuvenated so we could get into Super Bowl talk.
Oh yeah, it worked out really well for us. I know I'm healthy, doing well right now as a fan.
Congrats! Let me go ahead and give you your congratulations on that victory.
Oh yeah,
your Philadelphia Eagles got your first Super Bowl championship. How's it feel?
Yeah, Trav, that's how it feels, man. I feel like a champion.
You feeling like Rocky?
Yeah, king of the world right now. 25 years plus in the making. A lot of suffering as an Eagles fan. It's hard to believe this day is here. I mean, I know how Boston Red Sox fans, I know how Chicago Cubs fans felt. You know, did they ever think they was going to get that off their shoulders? And we finally got our first Super Bowl victory. It was on the list of 13 teams in the NFL that hadn't won a Super Bowl, and the Eagles finally.
It's a list you don't want to be on.
No, especially when the Eagles, they'd been there 2 times before this, 3 times before this. If they'd lost this, it was going to end up, getting close to the Buffalo Bills or the Minnesota Vikings, 0-4 record, 0-3 record. So this was a huge win. Just to get it done and to get it done against the Patriots.
Against the Patriots, kind of a rematch from T.O. and Donovan McNabb. So
yeah, much better outcome in this one.
Yeah, good win. I got to congratulate y'all on your first Super Bowl victory. It's a good one.
It was good, man. It was a shootout. It was a game, man. And, it was a lot of back and forth. It was a missed extra point. And you're thinking, oh, my gosh, is this game going to come down to us missing an extra point?
I thought it might.
And
I really did.
It did. I mean, it got hairy because they had to go for some 2-point conversions, kind of messed up the way that the score should have been. So, there's a lot of drama in this game.
We definitely know how excited you are, man, to get that first win, that first Super Bowl championship. But you weren't the only one. There were some other happy Eagles people out there that had your back supporting you.
Oh, yeah. We got a call in from Melissa. Let's go ahead and get to that.
This is Melissa. I'm calling to say congrats to all the Eagle fans. Woo! Go Eagles! I know Josh is super excited, and I am on cloud 9. Congrats, Eagles.
There it is.
Yeah, I mean, just haven't come down off of that all day. Just super pumped. Going to work, have that Rocky music playing in your head. I mean, you can't do anything wrong today. This is a great day to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Great day to be an Eagle. I don't know if it's so great to be living in Philly, though, right now. Is Philly still standing?
I don't know, man. It looked pretty rough last night there. It was a lot of cars on fire, a lot of people standing up on the canopies of buildings, jumping around. I saw somebody took out a 7-Eleven type store, was trashing it.
Yeah, they're wild.
Yeah, it was pretty
cars
bad.
Getting flipped over.
Yeah, you don't want this to be the reputation of your fan base, but I think everybody knew it was coming. If the Eagles got a win there, hopefully they regroup there, have a peaceful parade there on Thursday, and really celebrate the right fashion, not like they did last night. That was pretty bad.
They got out of control with the World Series, didn't they, after that?
They did. When the Phillies won it back in 2008, it was pretty rough in that one too. So it's known that's how Philadelphia celebrates.
That's just those Eagles fans. That's how y'all celebrate, I guess.
Yep. It doesn't happen too often. As this game started out, the flow, what did you think of it early on in the game?
Early on, I thought we were just seeing really good, solid quarterback play on both sides. I mean, Brady was basically just standing in the pocket reading the newspaper early on. I mean, he had all day.
Pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, pretty much the whole game. As you know, you did get to him late. But, yeah, early on and throughout the game, he basically took his time and picked the Eagles' defense apart. Like I said, we saw some solid QB play. A lot of offensive records were broken in this game. I think Brady ended up with over 500, Foles with about 373. Most combined yards for quarterbacks, most yards. I think Brady broke his own record for most yards in a game. I mean, just good, solid quarterback play. Throughout the whole game, just both teams well disciplined, not a lot of penalties, affecting the flow of the game. The referees didn't really need to get involved in the game other than, making a few calls. There wasn't a whole lot of penalties, but when there was one, a little false start or something, Gene stepped in and called it. Even saw a smile on his face a couple of times. I mean, I guess he was happy to get a little TV time. He wasn't really getting
I think he enjoys his job for sure. He likes to show off his guns a little bit when he makes those calls.
No, Gene don't got guns like what's his name.
No, he doesn't have those guns. He's got some pretty good arms on him.
But, yeah, so just good quarterback play. One key factor I did see early, and somebody that did, I think, kind of, he gets my game ball. He gets one of my game balls in this game. A key factor in LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah, he was rolling on the ground.
Yeah, he had 14 carries for 90 yards, big 20-yard touchdown run there with about 8 minutes left in the second. He picked up several huge first downs throughout that first half, even in the second half. I think he played a big part in that victory.
He did. Starting out there, Eagles' first drive drove it down the field really good. It was a long drive, but ended in a field goal. I was a little worried even after that happened. This is one of those games, field goals aren't going to win it, so I thought they needed to come away. They got deep down the field, and I'd like to see them got a touchdown on that drive. But they were able to come down. Brady drove the field fairly quickly, a little bit more efficient on his drive, but they kind of stalled out at the end zone and ended up with a field goal as well. So it was 3-3 there. Yeah, that was huge for the Philly defense, holding them just to 3 points.
Yeah, big stop by your defense, holding Brady early. Establishing that tone that they had throughout the game. You did come back. I think y'all came back and scored. Like you said, missed the extra point.
Yeah, Foles had a really good pass there to Alshon Jeffries, about 34 yards. It was a dart. I don't think he could have threw that ball any better. That was the one thing I took away from this. Foles' confidence was like super high. He was on the move and just throwing balls, and some of the receivers missed balls, but he was hitting them on the shoulder pads, right in the hand. He threw a couple of them in between, Patriots' defensive arms, and just, he was just right on the money there. I don't think you could ask for anything more from Foles.
No, Foles was on point. He was definitely in the zone. He definitely had some tunnel vision going on there.
He did.
He was definitely putting the ball in places where only his receiver could catch it. Some of the windows he was throwing through were pretty unbelievable. And like I said, he was on the run on some of those throws. He just played an excellent football game. That's the reason he was the MVP. It's the reason he led them there in the late in the year, coming off of only, 2 or 3 starts.
Yep.
Led them into the playoffs, just confident.
He did have the one blemish there. He had that interception late in there. It was tipped. It was an unlucky play that it went back, but the Patriots made the play on it, and it did not take Brady any time to drive them down the field on that one. They were able to get down there. The Eagles did get maybe a key play during the game, a key injury at least to the Patriots on that drive as well. I think that was the drive that Brandon Cooks got injured when he was trying to kind of make a spin move and come back, and the Eagles defender was just coming up the field and caught him.
Yeah, he got popped.
Straight on. That was Malcolm Jenkins.
Yeah.
Jenkins, I think. That was just a shot.
Yeah, he didn't know where he was at when he got up. I don't even know if he remembers the Super Bowl much right now.
Yeah, it was tough. I think it hurt him late in the game too when they was trying to come back up the field. So that was just a big break there. I think they also got a break. I believe that was when New England missed a field goal. They was able to escape. There was 2 missed field goals in that game by New England.
Yeah, very unpatriot-like special teams play is what we saw in this game with the missed field goal, a missed extra point. Even on the kickoff before the final drive, putting Brady in that bad starting field position there, this is not the special teams play that we're used to seeing out of a Bill Belichick team. Another big play I think you guys had before the half was the Foles trick play.
Huge. Maybe the biggest play of the game.
That put y'all up, 22-12 going into the half. Even though it was an illegal formation, you had 7 men. You didn't have 7 men on the line of scrimmage.
Did they call it?
They did not call it. But
then it was legal.
Definitely a big play. Big touchdown. Comes right after Brady drops his chance for a reception in the Super Bowl.
Definitely proved that we have the better receiving quarterback of the two.
Definitely.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of get to social media and poke fun of Brady for missing that pass. but I didn't want to do it too early in the game because, you don't really want to eat crow on that with Brady coming back.
You don't want to jinx your team early like that.
Wasn't a very athletic play by Brady when he was coming out of the backfield there. Kind of short-armed it.
Yeah, he had to make an athletic move.
And he did.
He couldn't do that.
No.
That's Brady, though. He throws the football. He doesn't catch the football.
Yep, T-Rex arms. So we went to halftime. Eagles have a nice lead there. And then out comes JT. Gives the big halftime performance. Did you get a catch at Trav? What did you think of his performance?
From what I saw, it was okay.
Solid.
It was solid. I mean, JT's got some hits. He does have a few hits. I was more concerned, with the halftime refreshments, the jambalaya, the hot wings.
Okay.
I was a little more interested in that than JT's halftime performance. But what I did see of it, it was solid.
Did you think Janet was going to come out at any time?
I was waiting for Janet. Janet didn't appear.
I know. I was kind of let down on that. We did get to see Prince as they put up and projected him onto a screen. It was a nice little tribute to give on that in Prince's hometown.
Yeah, it was in Minnesota. I must have been filling up my cup at that point.
You missed that part?
Yeah.
We come back from halftime. New England gets the ball, and they give a heavy dose of Gronk.
Yeah, it was obvious they wanted to establish Gronk early, coming out in the second half. You could tell throughout the game. Him and Brady just weren't really connecting like we're used to seeing.
Yeah, not early on.
I don't know if it was, with Gronk being in that concussion protocol the last few weeks there. Maybe didn't get that on the field, timing down like they're used to.
Yep.
So definitely they wanted to establish him coming out in that second half. I think they went to him like 4 straight times. He ended up on that drive scoring a touchdown. Capping that drive with a touchdown, leaving the Patriots still down 22-19. But still, we saw a lot of Gronk in that third quarter. I think he scored again with 9 minutes left in the fourth.
Yeah, that gave him the lead there when he caught that fade. It's tough to guard Gronk. I think you've talked about it earlier in some of the podcasts about the weapon that they let him have on his elbow like that.
Yeah.
He just slings defenders off with it. He's a matchup nightmare. Brady knows how to get the ball to him. It did take a while to get him established. I think a little bit of the game plan was to take some of the running backs out. They were putting a cornerback on Gronk, a little size mismatch, but I think the Eagles were able to do a pretty good job with it. They stayed physical with him. One player that we haven't talked about for the Patriots was Malcolm Butler. He was their hero from the Super Bowl versus the Seahawks. What do you think with that? He started every game, played about 97% of the snaps for them on defense, and Super Bowl comes around and he doesn't play.
Yeah, I don't really know what was going on with that. I guess Belichick decided to go with the bigger defensive back to kind of, give them better matchup opportunities there. But I don't know. Butler's made the plays for you before. I don't know if that kind of threw everything off that was going on before the game, but you could definitely see, he was a little upset during the national anthem. I don't know if any words were said or whatnot, but he only got in on some special teams plays. That's about it.
Yeah, I think he's lost a little bit of a step. He hasn't been like he was the year before for Butler. But that's a big move to make it, completely substituting him out of your rotation when it comes down to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
so,
and that kind of throws off all your defensive communication.
Yep.
Those guys get used to communicating with one another. They know how each other plays. They know where each other's going to be at. So you never know. That could have threw off the defensive chemistry a little bit. Nobody really got any stops in this game. I think there was only one punt.
Yeah, one punt there. It was really one turnover for the Eagles, one turnover for the Patriots there. So really couldn't ask for much more. As far as a clean game goes on it.
Clean game. It was two disciplined teams playing good, solid football, and that's what we saw. You didn't have the, it wasn't the most exciting Super Bowl in my opinion. There was some exciting plays, but.
If you like offense, it was super exciting, but there wasn't that defensive, bearing down.
Right. You didn't have a lot of drama. You didn't have a lot of hype. It was just two well-coached teams playing good, solid football.
Right. Now, there was a little bit, maybe, I guess, of your controversy of the game was the instant replay. I think there was 3 plays that were reviewed. One was the Clement touchdown that he had. Looked like to me, maybe the ball moved a little bit on one frame. But, as far as a football on the field speed, it looked like a clean catch to me. And then I guess the big one was the Ertz touchdown where he goes over the top and loses the ball when he crosses the goal line and touches the ground in there. you see anything wrong with those calls?
No, I think the refs got it right. For the most part, the refs did a great job officiating this game. Like you said, the Ertz play was probably the one they looked at the most. I think they just wanted to mostly get it right. They didn't want to miss that one. That's a big one in the Super Bowl. But, I mean, they got it right. He did take 2 or 3 steps. He was a runner at that point. So once the ball crossed the plane, it was a touchdown regardless of what happened after that. So I think some people are getting it confused with the Jesse James Pittsburgh reception. 2 completely different plays. I know James, he kind of was falling back as he was catching the ball going into the end zone kind of with his momentum. So still needed to complete that catch when he hit the ground. So definitely a little controversy there, but I think they got it right.
I'm an Eagles fan. I know my perspective on this is a little bit off. Chris Collinsworth, was he pulling for the Patriots during the broadcast, it seemed like to me? I mean, when the Ertz play got off, I mean, he was clearly not thinking that was a touchdown. I think after you looked at it one time on instant replay, you saw he touched, at least 3 steps, and I had 4 steps that he took before he, dove for the end zone. It seemed like Collinsworth wanted the Patriots to win this one.
Yeah, that's Collinsworth. I mean, he he's got his opinions, and throughout the game, but yeah, I guess he just wanted to just add a little excitement.
I thought he was going to cry, man, when they didn't overturn that one. I mean, it sounded like he got a little upset there. I think he wanted to go in there and embellish how great Brady was, and this is his 6th Super Bowl and everything like that. I think this Eagles victory upset that for him a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely could have been going for Brady and them.
So we're getting close to the end of the game. Eagles haven't got any pass rush at all. And then they finally get one and knock this ball loose from Brady.
I won't say the Eagles didn't have a pass rush.
I mean, they got a little bit on
I think they were hitting Brady as he was throwing a lot of passes. I mean, they might not have been sacking him, but they were getting in his face, and they were making their presence felt. And a lot of the timing was off of Brady. I mean, he threw for 500. 500.
Yeah, I mean, timing wasn't off too far. I mean, I think they had 3 hurries and,
but the plays
and 4 contacts.
But the plays that they needed to make, the 3rd downs here, 4th down plays, or when they needed to make the play, it was like the D-line was getting in his face.
They got some pressure. They shut they did a good job on the run game containing it. But, I think if we'd have had a Super Bowl pregame, both of us would have said that they had to get to Brady with 4 down linemen. Reminiscent of the Giants when, maybe he had 4 or 5 sacks in the game on Brady. They didn't really get that, but they did get that one punch-out fumble. When that happened, I went crazy. I think I put my arms out, ran like an airplane around my kitchen, my living room a couple times.
Did any kids get hurt in any of this?
No, I dodged all them, able to juke them pretty good. I was nimble on that. But after that happened, I kind of realized that there was still a little over 2 minutes left in the game. Eagles needed to convert a 1st down, and they didn't. So we had a minute and 10 seconds, and we had to get the ball back to Brady.
Yeah, well, I just got to say, though, Peterson played to win this game. Y'all made some big 1st downs at points when you had to get a 1st down. 4th down, I think he went for it.
He did.
Late in the game, ended up getting it. So,
he played tight.
He played to win, unlike the Falcons we saw last year.
Right.
Shanahan, some of his play calling got conservative, allowed Brady and them to get back in the game. So we saw the exact opposite this year. Peterson came out to play. He played to win. He didn't play not to lose.
I think he called this game like he did a game in week 1. He kept the playbook open. He didn't get conservative. He let Foles do what he does. It was a good game, a good game plan that they were able to execute.
It definitely was. But, once again, the Patriots had opportunities. I mean, they ran the ball consistently in that 4th quarter. And they didn't run it every play, but they ran the ball a lot. And they picked up some big yardage, some big 1st downs. But, I said it was going to probably come down to who had the ball last. And, the Eagles basically had the ball last, with the chance there to score, put them ahead. Brady just couldn't get it done.
He was able to bring them back from, the 10-yard line up to the 50-yard line. Then he has his Hail Mary play. I will tell you, that ball hung up there in the air longer than anything I ever know.
Yeah, that was in there a long time for you. I know it was.
It was one of those I saw. I think it was Cox or Fletcher one of those had a chance to sack Brady, and he just eluded it. He stepped out, and I know it came out of my mouth. Probably shouldn't have said it, but I said, please, God, don't let him catch this ball. And that ball just stayed up there in the air. And then they knocked the ball down, but then you can't quite jump up and start celebrating yet. You have to look around the field, see if there's any yellow flags on the field. Kind of didn't have anything there, and then it was just pandemonium in my household.
Pure jubilation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the whole final drive that Brady had, got started off in the wrong way with that reverse. They tried to run there at the end. I think they should have tried to just get what they could get right there. Don't try to once again, I just think Belichick was pressing a little bit, trying to make a play here, kind of trying to keep up with Peterson's coaching. I don't know if he approved that reverse. I don't know if the special teams guy just called that on his own or what. But I think you got to get what you can get right there. Get Brady out there on the 20, 25.
Right.
You're starting Brady on the 5. I think the first 2 plays were incomplete. They might have completed one on third, some kind of way.
Fourth down, they got down there. That's it. It was fourth down when they completed one from there and, picked up some big yards.
Across the middle. So, that's putting him in a tough position to start that final drive. But he still got him at an opportunity there for the Hail Mary. Came up a little short, but defensive line stepped up when they needed to. I think everybody expected the Patriots to kind of wear down that Eagles D line after a while. They never really wore down.
No,
they finally got to them.
And shout out to the Eagles offensive line. They were solid. I don't know if Foles was sacked all game long. He was clean pocket. He was able to open some big holes. Ajayi and Blunt both had a good game on the ground. You couldn't ask for anything more out of that offensive line, and that was with their best player injured. Peters was out, so, that offensive line was solid, and they really came together as a unit about midway through the season. Very impressed with them. You're a 49ers fan. I'm an Eagles fan. This is my first Super Bowl.
Yeah, we got 5 rings.
You got 5 rings. So what swag should I get? This is my first opportunity. I need some swag to have now in my
Well, first thing, you relish this victory.
Right.
You take it all in. You enjoy this off season.
Uh-huh.
The draft is going to come up here. Well, first you're going to get your combine, so you get a little excited for that. You're going to want to add a few pieces to your team. You're going to lose a few people now that you're winning. You're going to lose some coaches. You're going to lose a few players here and there. So you're going to watch some players in the draft, and you're going to get, see who you're going to get coming up next year. But just enjoy the off season. Don't do a whole lot of trash talking. It is only your first one. It is only your first one. A lot of teams have a lot more rings than y'all right now. Niners.
Nobody has any newer rings. So.
No, y'all got the newest ring.
Right.
But still a lot more polished rings sitting in the cases right now.
You think they make a bigger ring than the Patriots did last year?
I don't know what y'all might get.
Blank it out. Maybe some emeralds on there, green emeralds.
Definitely have some green on there for y'all.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But yeah, enjoy it, and just understand the new season is getting ready to start here in a few weeks. So it'll be a whole new season.
Everybody's coming after us.
Everybody's 0-0 again.
Okay.
So we'll get through this, end of football season depression over the next few weeks.
No, it's going to be a lot of NBA talk, I guess.
Yep. So just enjoy it and just get ready for next year. Know everybody's going to be gunning for you.
Yep.
Including Jimmy G.
All right. Well, hey.
Reuben Foster.
I saw a very early power poll for 2018. Eagles were number 2. They had the Patriots number 1 in there, but there was a surprise at number 14 was those 49ers.
Yeah. So it's expected that they're going to bump us up like that after the way we finished. We hadn't lost since what? We hadn't lost since November, December.
Oh, man, I guess. You're one of the few undefeated teams here in the last couple of games.
Yeah, 5-0 the way we finished there. So we finished strong. Let's get into the draft. Let's bring in some pieces. Let's get involved in free agency when we need to. And let's get ready to go again. Everybody's 0-0.
It's going to be fun. Definitely going to be fun following the combine. It's going to be fun following the draft. NFL has a great off season. You really don't get too far away from it. There's going to be some.
Not really an off season. It's kind of all year with the NFL.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see what happens with Le'Veon Bell if he ends up going somewhere else. It's a big free agent move. Kirk Cousins, is he going to end up somewhere? Yeah, that's going to play out. We'll see how it goes. But I guess before we get out of NFL talk, there was some Hall of Fame announcements as well that they did right before the Super Bowl. Had Ray Lewis, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Brian Urlacher, Brian Dawkins, and Bobby Bowden getting in there. And the Veterans Committee, they put in Jerry Kramer and Robert Brazil. Out of those guys, I mean, Ray Lewis, what can you say about him?
I mean, Ray Lewis. It's Ray Lewis, one of the most highly motivated, explosive people you're gonna see in the NFL. Personality wise, I mean, who else do you want in the pregame huddle? With the defense leading the defensive, chance and getting you hyped before the game. I mean, Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, what was it like Baltimore for 10 years there? I mean, you could almost pencil them down to have the best defense in the league. Ray Lewis anchored that. He was pretty solid. I mean, that's for sure. Urlacher, a little bit different player than Lewis, but he was a heck of a linebacker as well for them. I mean, a lot of years leading the league in tackles. Two wide receivers that I really enjoyed watching. I would probably have him number 2, number 3. There's no debate on number 1 to me. Jerry Rice is the top wide receiver ever. But I think you have a very good debate over which one of these is number 2. Is it Terrell Owens or Randy Moss?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough decision. Randy Moss, obviously one of the greatest athletes we've seen step on the football field. And then, T.O., one of the biggest personalities we've seen in the locker room, caused a lot of controversy. One of the best touchdown celebration guys we've ever had.
Yep.
I mean, he kind of started the whole touchdown celebration thing with the Sharpie out of the sock, autographing the football, just standing on the Dallas Star.
He does some crazy stuff, eating the popcorn one time.
Yeah, eating the popcorn, getting the cheerleaders' pom-poms. Mm-hmm. So he's done a lot as far as that goes. But, yeah, numbers-wise, he definitely deserved to be in the Hall.
Yeah.
Regardless of, what kind of teammate people say he was in the locker room. I mean, the numbers don't lie. And he definitely deserved to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Moss, just pure athleticism, maybe just a freak. One thing, the knock I would have on Moss would be the 1.5, 2 years that he had there as a Raider. Production went way down. I think he quit on the team just a little bit. There's a lot of disarray with the Raiders organization there, but I kind of hurt him just a little bit in my eyes. But he redeemed himself when he went to the Patriots. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, he didn't really have much to play for in Oakland at that time.
But I mean, you still got to go out there and be a professional and give it your all. I don't think Moss was doing that his last couple games there as a Raider.
Well, he finished up as a Niner, so
he did, yeah. Or did he finish up as a Titan?
No, he finished as a Niner.
Okay.
His last game was a Super Bowl.
Was it the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
He had a little bit of production there that last year for you, just a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man, we finished up a great NFL season. Big event that's coming up here is going to be the Winter Olympics in Seoul, South Korea, or at least in South Korea, I guess. I don't think it's in Seoul, but you got a favorite event for the Winter Olympics?
I like the ski jump. Ski jump's pretty cool. I like the half pipe with the snowboards.
You're a big Sean White guy?
Yeah, we'll definitely go with him in there.
I like the old curling a little bit there. I can watch some curling. The giant slalom.
I definitely like the bobsled.
Yeah, that's a good event to watch there. U.S. has probably got a good team, I think, in the men's and the women's on that. So it gets you pulling for it. A lot of sports we never hardly ever watch. But, when you got the national pride on the line, you can still get into the Olympics. About the only thing I really have a hard time watching is figure skating. That's not my cup of tea. But.
No, I'm not really in on the figure skating a whole lot, unless it was like Nancy Kerrigan or something like that.
A little bit of drama on that. Some Tanya Harding.
Yeah.
Speaking of drama, I think the NBA's had a little bit of that here lately. Cleveland Cavs, man, they seem to be falling apart here for us, Trav. Seems like there's a lot of disarray in the locker room there. They've dropped a bunch of games here lately.
Yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers are just not they're not together as a unit right now. I think even the owner's getting involved in this. There's talk that the owner and LeBron aren't on good speaking terms and are not agreeing on a lot of stuff that's going on within the organization. So, yeah, it's just not looking good for the Cavs. But all they need to do is get in the playoffs. It's still hard for me to bet in a 7-game series against LeBron. I mean, it still is LeBron.
Yeah, he's going to be tough. I mean, in the East, I think there's the Celtics. I think the Raptors are playing pretty good ball right now. But you get the Cavs in the playoffs. They're going to be a tough matchup for anybody. Seems to be a lot of finger pointing going at Kevin Love's way. And I think they need to figure that out because he's going to be a huge part if they are going to make any run. You see the crazy rumor with where LeBron may end up?
Yeah, I've heard speculation that he may end up in Golden State. I don't really see that happening. I don't really know how that could happen. I mean, KD, LeBron, Curry. I mean, that's a lot of players that you're gonna have to pay. I don't really see how that could happen.
I think mathematically it can happen, especially if they cut a few players off the bench. I see this more as a play that's coming out of LeBron's camp that they put in the news. It's either telling Cleveland, "Hey, I'm gone. Let's get out of here and make a trade just to see if I can win a final championship for you." It's also, I think, telling the Lakers that they need to get their act together, clear some space, pull in a couple free agents. Just a little threat there that he may not go to the Lakers. But I think it's pretty much a done deal that LeBron's going to be a Laker next year.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to end up. I would like to see him in L.A. playing with Lonzo, but I don't know. I don't think he'll be a Cleveland Cavalier next year.
Yeah, I think that's for sure. Now, there was one guy that left L.A. With a trade, Blake Griffin. He got shipped off to Detroit. You see this as being a big impact for the Pistons for the remainder of the season?
I mean, it could possibly get them in the play, help them get in the playoffs. I'm not really sure of what kind of run they're going to go on once they get in there, but I think right now they're sitting at about the number 9 spot behind the 76ers. So, I mean, it may help them get that A spot.
I think it's going to be, pretty much the end of the Clippers season as they trade off Griffin, and then they may also get rid of DeAndre Jordan.
I mean, that's how the NBA works. They trade players. They keep 1 or 2 players on the team, and they get rid of the whole roster.
Yeah, they're going to be in rebuilding mode there pretty quickly. Yeah, it looks like the only player that they're going to have left on the team is going to be the coach's son.
Doc's boy, Austin.
Yep. I don't think he's going to be in the MVP race.
No.
Looks like there might be one guy that's just pulling away and going to win it all by himself. Nobody really chasing him down.
The beard.
Yeah. I mean, did you see that performance he had against the Magic?
Yeah, he had a 60-point triple-double. It was the first one in NBA history.
Unbelievable. Earlier in the season, I think he's got close to 60, had maybe a 55, 56-point performance, and then 60 points on top of that off with a triple-double on top of that. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that's getting it done. I mean, that's getting it done from all angles. And then he embarrasses the Cavaliers this past weekend also. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a crazy game against the Cavs, but they ended up blowing them out by, 25, 30 points on national TV?
Yeah. I think LeBron said they don't need to have any more nationally televised games this year.
Yeah, I don't think the NBA is going to do that. I think they're going to keep LeBron on prime time as much as they can. Playoffs are looking interesting. There really hasn't been too much shakeup. Some of the same teams are in there. Warriors, Rockets, Spurs. They're at the top of the West. East, it's still got the Celtics, Raptors, Cavs. So we'll see how that plays going down the stretch. All-Star game coming up. Do you see any of the dunk contest entries?
I hadn't seen those yet. Who we got?
Yeah, we got some young guys in it. Larry Nance Jr., Dennis Smith Jr., Donovan Mitchell. He's replacing Aaron Gordon from it. And then Victor Oladipo on that. So it should be interesting to see on that. Maybe we'll get Steph and Clay. I hadn't heard if they're going to be in the three-point contest.
I think Steph's already said he's not going to do it.
Not going to do it?
He's going to wait till next year and do it.
That's a little bit of a letdown there. Maybe Clay will be back in there defending his title. All-Star game, you know what we're going to get in that. No defense whatsoever on that.
No, there will be no defense played in the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, now the NBA All-Star game, that's not going to have any defense on it. But I think probably your big dummy of the week, he had some good defense played on him.
All right, Josh. So, the big dummy of the week for episode 23. I think we're going to have to give that one to our man Kevin Hart. Like you said, he did have some good defense played on him while he was trying to get up on the stage after the game.
NFL security wasn't having it.
After the Eagles just won their first Super Bowl ever, you got Kevin Hart, intoxicated Kevin Hart, trying to get on the stage.
Die-hard Eagles fan.
Yeah, but there was a big 6'6", 250-pound security guard that played some good D on him.
He bellied him up.
Yeah, one arm. He kind of one-armed him, backed him up. But no, Kevin, come on, man. You cannot go up on the podium. You had no part in this victory. You are not part of the team. You might have practiced with them in the off season, but you know, in the summer camp, just for fun. But you are not part of this team. I don't care if you're the number one fan in the whole country, the richest fan of the Eagles, the funniest fan of the Eagles. You don't belong on that stage, Kevin.
Nah. Do you see the guy carrying the trophy? He just kind of looked over at Kevin and just like laughed at him a little bit while the security guard was just throwing him around.
Yeah, so.
Now, it wasn't Kevin's only incident that he had there as well. He did get a stage to get onto.
So this is kind of a two-part big dummy. So he might be the first person to ever get two big dummies in one episode.
Making history.
Yeah. So, later on that night, during the NFL Network's coverage on their podium, he did make his way on their podium.
Right.
So, yeah, he had a few words to say. He was still a little lit, and I think he let a four-letter word slip out. Then but he did promptly remove himself from the stage. So, yeah, come on, Kev, you're out here on live TV. It's not a good look when you're like that, man. We got to hit you with it.
You big dummy.
Oh, Kevin Hart, that was definitely entertaining there to see. You know, you probably need to have one of your buddies with you, just saying, "Hey, man, it's time to head on back to the hotel, or let's get to the post game celebration a little bit early. You don't need to be trying to get on these stages or on national TV." Trev, I think that's going to pretty much do it for us. I still can't believe I'm a Super Bowl champion fan. It still hasn't sunk in yet, but I guess we'll go ahead and knock this one off.
Yeah, y'all finally got one, man. Holler at me when y'all get 4 more.
All right, we're going to have to go on a roll here. The next dynasty is going to be the Eagles. All right, Trav, I guess that's going to wrap this episode up.
All right, man, let's get up out of here.
Thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed the show, please help us out with a subscribe on your favorite platform.
To find all our listening services and social media accounts to follow, check out our website, ifitsports.com. Select the Listen to Podcast link from the top menu. And remember, if it's sports,
we're talking about it.